Hello and welcome to Conversations. We have with us a remarkable lady, Mrs. Sheila Dikshit. She has won the election and she has been the Chief Minister of this state of Delhi 3 times. Sheila ji, the more you have, the more you want. After 3 terms, what on earth do you want?
I haven't thought of that, frankly. We are called the Union Territory of Delhi. And we are given a kind of a statehood because we have an assembly, we have a chief minister, we have a cabinet, we have a full secretariat, a chief secretary, Lalo Lalo.
From what you are saying, Sheila ji, is it a lamentation or is it a challenge that you are talking about? I mean, you seem, on the one hand, you seem, in fact, if you don't mind my saying so, you sound very helpless.
No. I didn't mean to sound, I mean, I don't want to...
Let me put it this way. Here you are, thrice Chief Minister of this very important, and what have you not done from CNG to Metro and so on and so forth, all one day will be attributed to you and various people will stand up and say, look, she's taken the credit when we did all of this. All of that you've done. And yet you find that DDA, the LG, the Home Ministry, the MCD, the NDMC, the Cantonment Board, all of these are autonomous little satellites that you somehow have to manage.
You are absolutely right. I'm neither lamenting the fact, but I'm merely giving you the ground realities of this city-state. Now, there are some things you and I and the people have to understand, and I understood it, that you cannot give Delhi as the capital of this great country the kind of powers that you would give to any other state, the kind of autonomy that you would give, because this federal government sits here, the diplomats sit here and everything. But being an elected body, being in fact the only elected body, DDA is not elected. The cantonment bag has a little election, but it's not elected. The NDMC is not elected as the council. We are the only elected body to which all of you will look at. You say, all right, Chief Minister or Minister Burks or Minister Health, what have you done about it? So what we are working is on a very tightrope. We're balancing all the time.
So on the one hand you are administering,
yes.
On the other hand you are orchestrating.
Yes, that's right.
So you are orchestrating, there's the conductor with an orchestra, here's the trombone, here's the drum. On the other hand, I'm also administering.
Yes, I have to be because it's the people. It's the people
who... But you seem to be enjoying it.
I enjoy it because I love Delhi. I really love Delhi.
Tell me something. I asked you in the beginning, 3 terms, Chief Minister. What more do you want? And you've got years and years ahead of you.
No.
What would you pitch for now?
I don't think in politics anybody pitches for anything.
Why? People make up their minds that they want to be president.
Can they be?
Well, they aspire.
No, you may dream about it. You may want to be. You may want to be something which is true of any profession that you have or any job that you are doing. That may be true, but will you get it? And in politics, you never know what will happen. So if you say, I want to be this, at the moment I'm pitching for the Commonwealth Games. I'll be very frank with you. 3rd time we've been elected. I know Delhi almost like the back of my hand. Sometimes I think, no, I don't know Delhi. There's so much of it happening all the time. So this is a job we have to do. So after the Commonwealth game, when I relax and I sit down, my mind is off this pressure, immediate pressure, then we'll think about what it is. And I don't think I can really have a dream. And I can say, I'll pitch for something. I can't.
Right.
Can you pitch?
You've got a target which is at the moment the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
Were you there in Beijing for the Olympics?
No, I went there just about 3 months before.
You should have,
No. I went about 3 months before. and I saw a situation exactly as you're seeing today here in Delhi. So if people say that Beijing was great and that you will never make it, I don't believe that, I don't buy that. But yes, we are concerned. We can't sit back and say, okay, all right, even Beijing was working to the very last minute. And we have to work. We can't sit back.
You know, people have had a surfeit of problems attached to the coming Commonwealth Games. But there must be one thing which is actually bothering you. Which is that one major obstacle that you see?
Say that it's very difficult to say because we have to have the stadia absolutely ready, equipped as they should be, according to modern standards. We have to have the streets all nicely done. We have to have the traffic all properly done.
In 9 months?
Yes, no, it's being done, but it has to finish before 9 months. Then we have to see that security is there. We have to see the opening and closing ceremonies are there. We have to see that as many goals as India can get will be there. And
already you are having problems with young Bindra planning to walk out.
Yeah, but you are an Indian. You know what India is all about. These things should not bother anybody too much. They happen. They will resolve themselves out. Then there is the Indian Olympic Association. There is the sports ministries. There is us. So we've all got our work divided. You will look at the Sports Authority of India. That's so on. So everything worries me because we say, all right, Baba, even if one thing is left back, suppose a bus fails or there's a traffic jam and the players cannot reach their venue on time, it becomes a scandal. So even that little minute thing worries one. Okay, all right, it should go tick-tock. So I can't say that, and even if everything else is fine, that will be the one thing that will be spoken about. So you have to go at the micro level to see that everything works out all right.
You know, terrible things have been happening in, I mean, you are, of course, you have to be focused on Delhi, but you are a very senior member of the Congress party. You know, terrible things are happening in Bombay, in Mumbai.
Yes.
Where now you're going to have people virtually certify that they are Mumbai cars before getting a job. Now this infection can spread, and mind you, you had a rash of it against the Biharis and the UP Walas and so on. How do you see this emerging?
No.
I mean, this is vociferous to the nth degree.
I agree, it's absolutely dangerous. That rash that I had was misconstrued. It was just a couple of months before the last election. So somebody went and twisted and misconstrued the sentence I had used. I said they come...
So people came and did what?
Misconstrued and politicized what I had said. And what I had said was that the people from Bihar, UP people migrate here. And the largest number come from these. They form the backbone of all that is the development that is taking place in Delhi. And we were at the stone laying ceremony of the Vasant Vihar flyover, the Rao Tula Ram Vasant, which is ready now.
The one that was supposed to go through
that Malai Mandir.
Go through the Malai Mandir.
Yes, that's
what happened? It was supposed to go through the Malai Mandir.
No, it wasn't supposed to go through.
Because the local residents were very influential.
Yes, but
they almost did it.
Yes, they almost
managed.
Yes, they managed it. But do you know something?
Yes.
That Malai Mandir, which is about 50, 55, 60 years old, it had Mr. Venkat, the late president, Mr. Venkatramana as its president. They came and said it wasn't supposed to go through the mandir, but part of the block on which it stands, the stone on which it stands, the rock on which it stands had to be cut. It was very dangerous.
We were talking about Mumbai and the little rash that you had in Delhi against the UP and the Biharis. What exactly was it?
Now tell me, the UP Bihari one is all right. It was something that was politicized. It's there. We've always welcomed these people. They are the backbone of India. But what I certainly don't agree with is what is happening in Bombay. These are metropolitan cities or any city of India. As a citizen, you're free to go what you like. There's no system of this, you can't live here and you can't go there, you can't go in search of a job, you can't shift. This is one India. So when this feeling comes around this, what do you mean by Mumbai cars? Who is a Mumbai car? After all, these people...
Then all of this is a creature of electoral politics.
Yes, but...
Of which the Congress party is also a part.
No, not... it reacts, yes, I agree. It has to react, it does react, because the compulsions of politics is there. But I think it really got started by those parties which are either casteist or communalist or regionalist. Now you see you have region. Now in Delhi, tell me who doesn't live here? We have everybody from right northeast to Gujarat to south to Kashmir and everybody. And Delhi has always welcomed everybody. It welcomed invaders
The
here.
danger is that the infection can grow. I mean,
I hope not.
Unless it is snuffed out right now. How would you do it? If you were Chief Minister of Maharashtra, how would you handle it?
Well, I would certainly not, I mean, we've handled it in Delhi because, as you said, there was a spark. We nipped it there and then and said, nothing doing. Everybody has a place in Delhi. And I certainly do not subscribe to it, and I would put it down with a heavy hand if anybody talks like this. There were small incidents of people, you know, there always are. You know, somebody's mandir is being removed, somebody's masjid is being disturbed, or somebody's Christians, these things, all this. We always take a very strong stand and just nip it there and there in the bud. Because and I'm happy to say, Saeed, that thank God in these past 10 years that I've been here, 11 years now, there hasn't been a single case of any kind of rioting. We've tried to bring everybody together because please remember, Delhi is the picture of India. It's a small...
On that, yes, on that note, one can congratulate you. There really hasn't been, despite all the ingredients of vicious politics.
See, Batla House, for instance, could have flared up any amount.
Yes, yes.
It was nipped there and then.
Right. And Mumbai, if it goes on, then you are supposed to be a great movie buff, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Have you seen Three Idiots?
Yes, of course I have.
You have? How many times?
I've just managed to see it once. Because
but there are plans to see it again?
Again, yes. Yes, I will see it again. And I always go to see a movie in a movie house, not at home, because at home I'm too disturbed. Either a phone is ringing or somebody is walking in. So I go to a movie house, relax, and enjoy myself. I saw Three Idiots. I think it's a very, very refreshing and nice film. Right.
And you're talking about Avatar?
Yeah. Avatar also I've seen. And I was absolutely, its technology is mind-boggling, its imagination is mind-boggling, and puts everything, a lot of indigenous cultures into the whole thing.
Even though I've known you for over 2 or 3 decades, but I was still going through a little bit of work. I thought I'd do some homework, and I found that you once had a crush on Devanand.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Well, so that was college days and thereafter, when you weren't married. So you every girl had a crush. I had a crush on Devanand, I had a crush on Rock Hudson.
Really?
And I had a crush on Tony Curtis. So you see, those were little crushes which, you know, which are not falling in love.
Did you meet Devanand and
oh, yes.
have a giggle about it?
Yes. In fact, on his 80th birthday, he was in Delhi, and I met him. And he said, I believe you had a crush on me. I said, yes, I did.
I traveled with him to Pakistan, in fact. He wanted to see the room where he stayed in Government College, Lahore, and so on. Well, from the light touch of cinema, let's come to a rather more grave things like, what do you think is dynasty in politics? Inevitable? Is it necessary?
I don't think it's necessary, neither is it inevitable. But yes, it has an advantage. If you belong to a family which is, say, a family of doctors or lawyers or a political family, you have that initial advantage. That this doctor's का बेटा है ये तो अच्छा होगा, कोई इत्मीनान होता है. And the same is with politics. But you may get an initial advantage, and others may have a handicap. But after that, remember, please, it's the people of this country who elect governments. And they are known to take dynasties in and throw them out also. So I don't know why there is so much made out of a dynasty.
Well, I think it happens, and if you look at all our neighboring countries, but one should not dwell on that one too long. Tell me, of all the things that you've handled, what is this mystery around these unauthorized colonies? Names come up and then nothing happens. What are the vested interests involved? Why don't you spell it out once and for all?
No, I wish I could. I wish I could. I'll tell you why. Unauthorized colonies, first, when I told you that there were so many agencies looking after Delhi, and the departments and the Ministry Government of India, and the migration which takes place in Delhi. Kahan aake rahe? Where do they live? You have no holding areas. You, as a city or as a government, all of us have not planned for this huge in-migration, 5 lakhs a year now.
But even so, about how many 1,100 colonies have been regularized?
Regularized.
But yet some have not.
No.
Why have those not?
But those regularization was subject to the fact that do they make boundaries? Because otherwise what happens, Saeed, in Delhi is that a colony may be this much. Like for instance, you have a colony like Basant Vihar or Jorbagh or something. You've got a wall around it. You cannot extend Jorbagh beyond what it is already been mapped as. These are not mapped colonies. So the courts as well as the ministry said that you map them out, draw a line, at the moment give them yet what you called temporary provisional certificates, and the moment the boundaries are made so they do not spread more, then you see that was the reason. That's why it looks so complicated, and governments do take time, especially when there's a multiplicity of authorities and the courts are also active and so on and so forth. So that it is there. It's something that I think we need to worry about most of all in Delhi in the long run. The Commonwealth is all right, something that's immediate, but in the long run, you need to worry about what are you going to do with these slum dwellers and those people who live in unauthorized colonies with the sword of Damocles hanging on their heads. And that's immediate, but in the long run, you need to worry about what are you going to do with these slum dwellers and those people who live in unauthorized colonies with the sword of Damocles hanging on their heads. And this
people in Sainik farms?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, either demolish them from A to Z or regularize them.
No, but you can't. How will you demolish them? Tell me who will have the courage to go and demolish them.
All right, don't demolish, then regularize.
Regularize them. But the cabinet, when Mr. Jagmohan was the minister, took a decision that we will regularize everything, but we will not regularize Sainik farms, and we will not regularize something called Mukherjee Nagar or something like that. Ek do chhod di. Though these are on private land. Though they regularized what was called this Anik farms or something where all the ministers had their bungalows. I'm forgetting the name just now. You see what happens is decisions also sometimes taken, governments take decisions which have somewhere a hidden personal agenda. I don't
Has that decision been taken by Mr. Jagmohan?
Yeah.
Is that an obstacle even today?
Yes, even today.
How?
Because the government says it's a cabinet decision, how do we reverse it? But I have written to them very often, representing the people of the Sainik farms as well as this Anantaram dairy. So I said, Kate, please don't do that. You can't do it. There are properties worth crores and crores and crores. And it's on private land. Now we've started one thing, we're giving them power legally. So I hope this is the first step towards the legalization which will eventually come. Otherwise they were producing their own power.
You know, one problem that you are going to face, and I have seen bits of it, as summer comes, people don't have drinking water. And you are going to have water riots. I have seen the beginnings of them. Also, you're going to have parking riots because there's no parking lots.
No parking lots.
And people are going to, there'll be worse than road rage. What are you doing about that water thing?
You see,
where is the water going to come
from? What we are entitled to get, we are not getting.
And say, if you think that the truth is, that really we don't know.
No, I don't say it. I don't say it. We know. We can do it. We have to have the will to do it, and everybody has to collectively have the will to do it. For instance, yesterday I opened a water recycling plant. Good clean water. 10 million gallons per day is going to come from there. That is in one of our Wazirabad. Then we are going to do 10 more million gallons from Okla, 10 more million gallons from Bhagirathi, and so on. So add on another 40 million gallons by March, April, May. So that will add on to it. What is worrying us are the leakages. You see, 45 to 52% leakages. We have to stop those. We are going on a campaign. We also have to learn how to conserve water. Stop the leakages, conserve the water, because many of us have still not realized, or most of us have still not realized, that water is a scarce commodity now. It may not have been 20 years ago when the population was on. Where do we get our water from? Either from UP, the Himalayas, or the Punjab, Himachal ones. It passes through Punjab and Haryana. Punjab and Haryana will not allow us to take water. So there are these problems. There are these requirements and needs being much more. Wastage being more than it ought to be. So we learn to conserve. And I can tell you, don't be pessimistic. There won't be wars. There are fights, yes. There are little scuffles. But people are beginning to realize that we need to conserve both power and water, that they are not unending.
You go to any colony in the evening when people are parking their cars. And you see the beginnings. I see the beginnings, not riots, but it's very, very bad.
Ugly. It's ugly.
You have husbands walking in and then shouting on their wives for the simple reason that the parking outside is bad.
Yes, have you been shouted at? No, that I agree. But then tell me, Saeed, who's got the cars?
You are disgorging every day hundreds and thousands of cars on the roads of Delhi, and you're talking about climate change, and you're talking about the traffic jams.
Yeah, yes.
Who is to blame?
I think everybody. 1,000 cars are registered every day. Today, Delhi has 6 lakh cars running. Now, I tell you, we can give alternatives. So, all right, here's a metro. There's an alternative for you. Instead of going to your office in a car, take a metro. We are giving you air-conditioned buses now. We are giving you the low-floor green buses and air-conditioned buses. By the end of this year, you will have about 10,000 of them. Yet, car is a status symbol, not only in India. It's all over the world, in London or Russia or wherever you go. So, don't we have to see where we used to have one car in a family? Today we have 4.
Tax the second car. Tax the second car.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea.
Heavy taxation for certain areas, as in Singapore. You take your cars to a certain area, you have to pay a heavy tax.
I agree with you there.
Will you do that?
Yes.
Have I extracted a promise from the Chief Minister of Delhi that she is going to impose a tax on the second car at least?
You can never get a promise from a chief minister, political chief minister. What if I can't implement it? Then you'll say you broke your promise, and I'm not ready for that.
Are you going to try?
Of course. It's
an
idea.
Try?
It's an idea which you have endorsed, and thank you very much for it. I think if people like you talk like this, I think we'll be able to implement it.
We haven't talked about education in the schools, but time is running out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Great pleasure.